Good evening and Happy New Year, everyone. At this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order, and if we could all please stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. All right, tonight we have all of our commissioners present except for Commissioner Veretti. Our first order of business is to nominate and elect the chair of the Parks and Recreation Commission. I have had the privilege of serving chair for a year and a half, which it's been quite a ride. It's a lot of fun. So I would like to nominate the very capable and wonderful Commissioner Vice Chair Munoz.
Thank you.
Can I get a second?
I will happily second that.
Thank you.
All right, and let's see, we vote. I can't vote either. Oh. Do I need to hit motion again? No. Okay. We'll let them work it out. My screen has the option to put second, but I didn't second it, so I'm not going to push it. I can't vote. My screen,
Olson, were you able to vote? Commissioner Olson, were you able to vote?
you have to push.
I was not. I pressed the second button, however.
Oh, okay. Can we do a voice vote?
Of course. All right, we'll start with Commissioner Kinney. Aye. Commissioner Olson?
Aye.
I vote yes. Commissioner Munoz?
Aye.
All right, and I think that passes. All right, now we can record and reflect that Commissioner Munoz as the chair of the upcoming 2023 year, with that motion made by myself and Commissioner Olson. And the position will be effective today, January 10th, 2023. So it's official, we can change positions if you would like.
Officially, officially.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for that and your belief in me to be a good leader. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Nominations are now in order for the office of vice chair. Would someone like to make a motion for?
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Commissioner Olson for position of vice chair.
I will second that motion.
Chair, can we do a voice vote?
Commissioner
Tom,
Kinney?
your microphone's on.
Commissioner Kinney?
Aye.
Commissioner Wentworth?
Aye.
Commissioner Olson?
Aye.
And Commissioner Munoz? Aye. So it's motion passes. Commissioner Olson, you are now vice chair. And change again.
There's a trophy at the end.
As we move on to the meeting, the agenda talks about number 6, the meeting minutes. And since Commissioner Verdi is not here at the moment, we were going to table the October 26, 2022 minutes until he's here in the future, next month. So in the meantime, we can review October 11th, what? October 22nd? October,
It's okay. So the mission, only myself, you, and Matt can vote on the October 11th, so we can do that one.
right, so we're skipping this, we're tabling this one here.
Yeah,
And
but let's do them
the-
individually. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we can vote on the October 11th.
All right.
Okay.
So, come to my attention that because Commissioner Wentworth, myself, and Mr. Olson were here October 11th, 2022, we can review those meeting minutes and make a motion to approve.
I will make the motion to approve the October 11th minutes of the Park and Recreation meeting.
I will second that motion.
Approving the meeting minutes from October 11th, 2022.
Oops.
Motion passed.
I didn't even vote. How did that go? My screen didn't have a vote.
Can we do a voice vote, Chair?
Yeah. Let me just,
Can. Once again, Commissioner Wentworth, myself, and Commissioner Olson were at the meeting October 11th, 2022. So at this time, I'd like to have a voice vote by Commissioner Olson,
Aye.
Commissioner Wentworth,
aye.
and Commissioner Munoz. Aye.
Sorry about that. I was waiting.
Once again, I got to get used to this button here. Because Mr. Verdi is not here at the moment, we will table that motion minutes until next month when he's here.
Quick question. Is that a duplicate, or were there two sets of, so the October 26th, they're both trying to figure that out. There's two approvals of two different minutes with two different lists of people that were there for the same day, so I don't quite
Commissioner
understand.
Kinney, the third set of minutes are actually for November 8th.
Okay,
The
thank
ones that
you.
we're able to vote on right now are for
Okay.
November 8th.
November 8th, thank you.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Okay. This time we'll vote on the meeting minutes for November 8th, 2022. Once again, that was Commissioner Wentworth, Commissioner Kinney, and myself were at that meeting.
Okay, I will approve the minutes from November 8th.
I make a motion to second.
And
All in favor, say aye.
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 So moved. All right, approved. All right, thank you very much. Any communication from the public? This portion of the agenda is intended for general public comment only on items within the Commissioner's jurisdiction that are listed or not listed on the agenda. Persons wishing to address the Parks and Recreation Commission are requested to identify themselves and state the matter on which they wish to comment. No action will be taken on matters that are not listed on the agenda. Please observe a 3-minute limit for communications. Ms. Vargas, are there any speaker cards from the public?
No, Chair, there are no speaker cards.
Thank you. Are there any written comments from the public?
No, Chair, there are no written comments.
Thank you, Ms. Vargas. Move on to youth update. Report by Teen Advisory Council. Ms. Vargas, are there any speaker cards for this item from the public?
No, sir, and they are not present, so we can go ahead and move on from that.
Okay, move on.
Thank you.
This time, I'd like to call Mr. Lass for his director's report. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, Happy New Year. It's so good to see you all here for our first meeting of the new year. I am Jason Lass. I'm the Recreation Services Manager. I'm going to be presenting on behalf of Dr. Turner. While we were all away for the holidays, she was holding down the fort, and now she's enjoying a little bit of time away. But I assure you, we have lots of great things to kind of keep you posted on here. So I'll go ahead and get right into that. First up, in case you missed it, the Community Services Department had several items presented at the December 14th Committee of the Whole meeting. First up was the Heritage Room. The library sought direction from the Committee of the Whole on which floor plan to move forward with the expansion of the Heritage Room. The Heritage Room is a unique space that archives items of historical interest for Corona, and this work will actually continue into the new year, and we're really excited to see what that'll offer this community. Also, we have continued our work on the City Park Master Plan. RJM, the project consultant, provided an update and overview of the City Master Plan project. This is the same presentation that was brought before the Commission in November meeting. Again, we just want to say thank you to you for helping us get that word out, as well as attending our outreach events. As you may recall, at the fall workshop, City Council gave Community Services the green light to explore an exciting new community mural project. It was decided that the program would pilot with a single mural at Promenade Park, and we put a call out to resident artists. This was sent out in November and did close on December 16th. Staff are currently reviewing the applications that were received, and will be bringing an update before the Commission at a future meeting before we get ready to move forward with installation. Looking ahead, the City of Corona is pleased to continue its signature event series with a lot of exciting options here. First off, to kick off our season will be the Tree-tacular Park Takeover in celebration of both Earth Day and Arbor Day on March 11th at Citrus Park. Our traditional Independence Day celebration will continue on Tuesday, July 4th, with our parade in the morning and our fireworks spectacular at Santana Park in the evening. New for this year, we have proposed combining the night market and summer concerts into a Corona Street Fair event. This was presented to the Committee of the Whole in November and is currently being worked on as we prepare for the budget process. And in fact, we received direction to begin asking for a little bit of more of an increase for a lot of our events. So we're excited to see what we can do with a little bit more in terms of marketing and some of our contract services to go bigger and bolder. My favorite holiday weekend will be on Saturday, October 14th, and we'll round out the year with our holiday lighting celebration on Saturday, December 3rd. And for those of you who attended our last event, I'm sure you won't deny what a huge success that was. It was so wonderful to see the community there in full spirit. I've never seen one of those events so big before, but it was just absolutely great. So it was wonderful to see you all there. The City of Corona Community Assistance Transit Team has been busy with the Comprehensive Operational Analysis, that's COA. The COA studies how riders currently use the Corona Cruiser, which is a fixed route service, and our Dial-O-Ride, which is an on-demand service. In December of 22, staff attended and hosted various outreach events seeking public feedback, including our senior center, our holiday lighting celebration, and a virtual public town hall. In service to the community and transit users at large, our transit team wants to make the Corona public transit a choice. The transit team also wants to hear from transit users, former users, and the community at large with the goal to meet more members of the public to leave their cars and use public transit. The destinations to which the residents, employees, and visitors want to travel. The analysis is nearly complete, and the draft options have been developed with the transit team working towards implementation. We're looking at several different scenarios, providing different levels of service at different costs. Of course, we encourage our residents to check out the COA webpage for more information on the service options and to take a brief survey, which will help inform our choices. And this item will be brought directly before the council at a future study session, but we do want to make sure our residents are aware of this as it pertains to community life. All right, always a fun one. The Friends of the Corona Public Library are pleased to invite the community to their annual Ladders and Linguini fundraiser on February 23rd. This fun event will offer hearty Italian food served by our local Corona Fire Department, silent auctions, great live music, unlimited wine and beer, and much more. Mission includes dinner and beverages with tickets starting at $55, and tables are available for larger groups. Please see the Friends of the Corona Public Library. They actually have an office at the library bookshop, or you can go to their website or reach out to the contact information provided on the screen for how to get involved. Always a great party to be a part of. And now I will defer to Mr. Moses Cortez for a couple updates from our facilities, parks, and trails.
Thank you, Jason, and Happy New Year, Commission. I have a few updates to go over, just a couple exciting ones. So first off is our holiday tree. The tree is part of this huge tree that we got is a 96-inch Canary Island pine. Will be planted, will be relocated to Surface Club Park. It'll be actually placed near the playground to align with our shade study. So during summer, it will cast a very nice area of shade for the playground. And this will be kind of like a pilot study for future trees to come that we'll be placing around many of our parks and our playgrounds. The other thing we did was the Santa Ana River cleanup. I'm not sure if you guys have been involved in this or heard of this, but a lot of the Santa Ana River open space is part of a recreational lease with the City of Corona and the Army Corps of Engineers. So we do the maintenance down there. It's an annual cleanup that we do each year, and it is facilitated and completed by our Facilities and Parks Trails team. They go down and remove all debris, abandoned belongings from our unsheltered, and eliminate any hazards, anything that could make it into the river or stormwater issues. It also, helps us prevent any fires that may come from, batteries or propane tanks, campfires, things along those lines. And this year we removed about 160 yards of trash, which is about 4 of those 40-yard roll-off bins. And lastly, I just wanted to bring back another update on the field renovations. We have completed those. I know at our last meeting, we mentioned that we were going to be starting. We have now completed that. So the fields are still closed. This rain has been very helpful for our seed germination. But we did go through, we did sanding, we did some overseeding, we did some broadleaf treatment. So hopefully, once this rain clears up, we'll be reaching out to our leagues and turning the fields over, and they'll be in great condition for the spring season. And our next set of renovations will take place right after the 4th of July. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Jason.
Great, and that actually concludes our report, but our team is here if you have any questions pertaining to any of these items.
Thank you, Mr. Lass. Appreciate it very much. Ms. Vargas, do we have any speaker cards from the public?
No, Chair, there are no speaker cards.
Thank you. Any written comments from the public?
No, Chair, no written comments.
Thank you, Ms. Vargas. Commissioner Kinney, do you have any comments to share?
I do. Thank you for the presentation. I have a couple of brief questions. Out of curiosity, how many applications did you receive for the mural project?
Commissioner Kinney, we're currently reviewing, but we have 5 currently.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Okay, thank you. And then with the proposed street fair, has that location been determined yet? Because I know they both were in opposite ends at one time.
Yes, we're looking at using the same footprint that we used for the holiday lighting celebration. So we want to kind of showcase the historic Civic Center. It's coming up on its centennial celebration, believe it or not, 100 years here in Corona. It's a beautiful backdrop for a stage. And then extending Buena Vista to Vicente there. So that kind of encapsulates the whole area. We would do the street fair on the street portion. On the lawn, we would have the stage and entertainment, and then we'd be able to invite a wide variety of different community partners and friends out for all kinds of sorts of activities and ways to engage. So it followed the same 4-week series that we did for the concerts, but be bigger and bolder than ever before.
That's an excellent idea. Good thinking there. And then the last quick one was on when you're looking at the different routes for the bus services, is there going to be a coordination with the county services as far as, or the MetroLink? I mean, so that people are going to be able to go even further if they wanted to take the cruiser to wherever and get on.
Yes, absolutely. So with the transit options, we're always looking for interconnectivity, and you can also include things like bike routes. So we want to have public transit and other modes of transit other than vehicles be a real feasible option here in Corona.
Commissioner Olson?
Just a couple of questions. Commissioner Kinney asked the one about the location. I think that's a great idea. I was really hoping that that would be it, so I'm really looking forward to that. On the park survey ongoing process, are we still collecting surveys? The LEAF QR code still redirecting to that survey at this time? Or is that wrapping up?
So we've closed our surveys, but we will be doing some second rounds for some public outreach. So we'll keep you updated on that.
Okay. Fantastic. Love to hear about that tree. Surface Club is kind of my home park in my area over there, and I love the idea of using the trees for shade, so that's really going to be a cool thing, and the community get excited about that. Bear with me, see if I got any others. So the Santa Ana River open space, is that, I mean, it may seem like a naive question, but is that used recreationally at all currently?
It's not, so it does have restrictive use at the moment. So it's just basically open land. A lot of it provides habitat. Obviously, there's limitations with the river there and the watershed, but right now it's just open, literally open space. So,
Got it. Okay. Thank you. That concludes my questions.
Thank you, Vice Chair Olson. Commissioner Wentworth? It's kind of hard to say that because you've been the chairperson for so long. And before we go on, if I may, we want to thank you for everything you do, everything you have done, and everything that you will do as a commissioner. And beyond that, we know that you're so full of spirit and
I'm
other
not sure
things.
I would say I'm full of spirit.
Spirit's a good word to use.
I second all that, yes.
I may have a second, please, on that. No, but Commissioner Wentworth, I'm sorry.
Thank you. That's very kind. Thank you. Yeah, no, it was my pleasure. I am looking forward to our year with you. I think you're going to do a great job. You're a great vice chair, so I'm really looking forward to it. I did have a couple of questions on the agenda item. Can you clarify for me the Community Assistance Division, where that came from and who that is?
Yes, that's.
I try to keep track of actually when we redo the bus routes and stuff, and things have changed, so.
Yeah, so that has been reassigned as part of Community Services. That's helmed by Cynthia Lara, and includes the transit team as well as our housing resources, and then they also have oversight of the airport.
Okay, all right, thanks. And I just assume you're bringing it to our attention just to bring it into the public sphere
Yeah,
as much as possible?
absolutely.
right?
So we're collecting, we're doing so many surveys at this moment. So it's another one we don't want to get lost as we reach out to the community, but it's an excellent opportunity to provide feedback on how people are using transit or what types of transit they would like to see.
Okay, thank you. And I know that you gave the signature event highlight, but I wanted to clarify, are we still doing the tree planting at Griffin Park on January 21st and the Tin Mine Trail cleanup on February 11th? Because I have those on my calendar.
Yes, those are part of the Corona Beautiful cleanup. So that's part of our volunteer outreach and engagement with the Facilities, Parks, and Trails team. We will be doing different volunteer cleanup events on a monthly schedule. And if any residents...
Still good?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I wanted to just make sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. That concludes my questions. Thank you for the excellent presentation.
Thank you, Commissioner Wentworth. Real briefly, I listened to Mr. Moses, and this guy is amazing, I tell you. And then, and Mr. Last, thank you too for your presentation, both great. In Corona, we're doing so much, and it's amazing what we're doing. I've been getting phone calls from people I know that are in different cities, and I don't know them because as a landscape architect, I usually call them, but now they're calling me about job opportunities here in Corona, which is exciting to hear because this city is growing rapidly and is moving forward with a lot of different things, whether it be Heritage Park, people exploring that, our heritage in Corona, and City Park Master Plan. Both Michelle and I were there back in December. I had a great time speaking to people, and Moses did the whole thing, practically. I mean, him and his crews were just there, and everyone was speaking to him, engaging in that with his personality and capturing information, and it It was wonderful to be there, Moses, with you at the helm. And then it's good to hear about Arbor Day and this tree moving over to Surface Club Park. That's going to be exciting, especially for you, Vice Chair Olson, to explore that and to enjoy the shade. And are there plans for next year and what tree you're picking out to? Are they all the same trees or different trees?
It'll be different, a different tree. Hopefully a little larger, maybe. I'm trying to go one more size up. But yeah, we're getting to that point where we're maxed out. And then each year we'll put it at a different location. So we're already scouting trees right now, so.
Fantastic. That's good news. And then I know 2 or 3 months ago, Commissioner Kinney talked about the kind of marketing and showcasing the actual location for events that we hold at City Hall. And her good point back then, still a valid point today, was on the south side of the old historical City Hall there against 6th Street. And closing the street down for a little bit and getting people to see that we are active. Otherwise, they're saying, I didn't know that event was going on. And really, it's a sin because we do so much in Corona, and we just need to just expand upon that by marketing our front side, our historical side. So great job on that one, Commissioner Kinney, on broadcasting that need. And lastly, years ago, my scouts were doing cleanup at the creek that goes from east to west into Santa Ana River. And that time, so I really commend you for doing that for that particular part of it, because they found needles, they found a lot of things that really shouldn't be found in those areas. Unfortunately, they were homeless and called in the police and fire department to take care of that issue. But there must have been 30, 40 scouts there taking care of that. So maybe in the future we can engage with the scouting program here in town and then have them be there at that day, that weekend, to be a part of the whole cleanup program. And lastly, on Sunday, we were walking my dog, Sweet Pea, and my wife and my grandson at Santana Park, and I guess the wind knocked down the fences, and people were already playing soccer on the field there. And I said, oh my God, because he just reseeded the whole grass there, and now they're walking, stopping, and playing soccer there. So no one's fault, just the wind. I'll blame the wind.
Yeah, we were out there actually today removing some of it, but the rain was not allowing us to finish. So we'll try and get out there on Thursday and finish.
Great. We're doing some parks and renovating parks in Irvine, and they're going from, there's 2 soccer fields that are old synthetic turf. They want that changed out to brand new, and there's 2 existing turf areas that they want changed to artificial grass also. So different city, different ideas, different thoughts, a lot of money. And thank you so much. Anything else that you want to share? Okay. Now we have a budget update and overview by Ms. Van and Ms. Ward.
Good evening and Happy New Year, Chair Munoz and members of the Commission. Viola Van, Management Analyst 2. And to my right, I'm joined by Ms. Bailey Ward, our Management Analyst 1. And tonight, we will be providing you a brief update and overview on our Community Services Department budget. The presentation being presented before you is for informational purposes only, and it's to provide a point-in-time overview of our current budget. As we all know, the Community Services Department is a large department divided into our 4 different divisions. And within our 4 divisions, we tackle and are responsible for a variety of services. Our Community Assistance Division, which Mr. Lass had touched on, is responsible for the use of our CDBG and home investment funds, the Corona Housing Authority, our transit services such as the Corona Cruiser and Dollar Ride, the Corona Municipal Airport, and property management. Our Facilities, Parks, and Trails Division is responsible for our parks, our trees, our median maintenance, including our landscape maintenance districts, or LMDs, and our community facilities districts, or CFDs. Our Parks and Trails planning, our Park Ranger program, our outdoor reservations, and facility maintenance. Our Library Division is responsible for our library services, such as circulation and collection management, literacy and community engagement programs, passport services, and of course, our Teen Advisory Council. Our Recreation Division hosts our city's special events, such as our big 4th of July celebration and Halloween weekend, to name a few. We provide programming such as contract classes and kids club. We oversee indoor facilities reservations and our volunteer program. For fiscal year, as you can see in this very elaborate chart, for fiscal year 2023, the Community Services Department was allocated an operating budget of $26,612,237. The allocation appropriated to the department helps make it possible to provide the services that we provide, our programming and events to our community. And this total budget is a 14.3% or approximately $3,320,104 increase in budget from our fiscal year 2022 budget due to the Community Service Department gaining our new areas of responsibility. Each allocation that you see before you is calculated based on the needs of funds to operate our various program areas. For fiscal year 2023, the Community Service Department's CIP budget, including rollover funding, is set at $21,652,611. These funds are encumbered and allocated for specific projects that are already in progress. These funds have helped support multiple projects, such as the development of our very exciting master plans that are coming through the pipeline. I will now turn it over to Ms. Ward, who will go over our funding sources, our upcoming fiscal year 2023 projects, and a quick overview of our fiscal year 2024 budget development.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. Bailey Ward, Management Analyst 1. I'll pick up where Viola left off with funding sources. Funding sources are what makes it possible for community services to provide programs, services, and events to the city of Corona. The Community Services Department is funded through 4 main sources: the General Fund, Special Revenue, Capital Project Funds, and Enterprise Funds. Most of our operations are funded through the city's General Fund. The General Fund includes inflows from sources such as property tax, sales tax, recreation program fees, LMD and CFD fees, and much more. Special revenue includes all revenue inflows that are strictly used for a designated purpose. Our capital project funds for the Community Services Department are primarily gained through the Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG, and our Home Investment Partnership funds. These help fund activities for the community assistance team, such as rental assistance and rent stabilization. Lastly, enterprise funds are inclusive of all fees for service. This includes things such as bus fares, airport fees, and some state and federal grants. With our allocations, the Community Services Department has been able to launch some incredible new services and programs in the current fiscal year. First off, we have our 3 master plans that are well underway, with all of the plans being at various stages of implementation. Our new Park Ranger program has kicked off with 2 full-time and 4 part-time positions. At the Historic Civic Center, fountain demolition has been completed and improvements are underway for the centennial celebration. In the calendar year 2023, Community Services Recreation Division is back with popular events such as Treetacular, the 4th of July Parade and Fireworks, Halloween Weekend, holiday lighting, and additionally, the recreation team will be proposing a new and improved event, the Corona Street Fair. The Community Assistant Division is also preparing their rent stabilization program that is slated to start in year 2025. With all of the exciting projects that Community Services has been undertaking, we would also like to take a moment to highlight some of our other projects that are currently in the works, such as the Heritage Room expansion and the Performing Arts Feasibility Study. With the city being currently at the midway point of this fiscal year, we would like to share with you our internal process for building the budget for fiscal year 2024. As you can see, we're in the early months of winter and are in the beginning stages of preparing next fiscal year's budget. In early spring, you can expect to be invited to our spring financial workshop where your input is much appreciated and participation is encouraged. And then we will kick off that fiscal year 2024 in July. This presentation was for informational purposes with the point in the time at this point in time with our fiscal year budget, and Viola and I are available for any questions.
Great, thank you very much. Ms. Vargas, are there any speaker cards from the public?
No, Chair, there are no speaker cards.
Ms. Vargas, are there any written comments from the public?
No, Chair, there are no written comments.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Kinney, do you have any comments? No questions, no. Thank you. Vice Chair Olson?
I do not. Just want to thank you for the clear, concise, and comprehensive presentation.
Commissioner Wentworth?
Thank you for the presentation, and thank you for clarifying that the 14% increase is coming through for new areas of responsibility, such as the transit and the airport. That's my understanding. We're not getting like all this new stuff. So can you just elaborate a little bit on, you said the community assistance on your 2023 projects under community assistance, you have rent stabilization. You said 2025 rent stabilization program. Can you just elaborate what that program is?
Yes, so the community assistance team is working on rent stabilization, which will help control rent prices within the city. They are currently in the earlier stages of development. They're working on analysis right now in this current fiscal year. So there's still a lot to clarify and more to come on that.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any more questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Wentworth. I have a couple questions, and well, actually, the L&D funding sources, essentially that covers the parkways and medians, is that correct?
Anyways, yes, it does.
No, like others, on the days here, we drive by from the freeways to our homes, where going east or west, and maybe not today, but in the future, it would be nice to have a mini presentation to talk about what's happening along Foothill Boulevard, for example. And, you know, you see a lot of different things going on, whether it's the trees are in the slouch of being, you know, it's deciduous trees. And some are knocked over, and I just wonder how that's being presented to the public. And also shrubs and lack of shrubs in various areas, and I wonder how that presents itself to the people at large. And I know various times during the last year in 2022, we heard people on here on the tables who are talking about that particular element, and they're getting phone calls from people too, asking questions about the medians and the parkways, and just a question I think be nice to have discussed at a later date, you know, sometime next month possibly, or in March, back in springtime again, when the trees start flourishing and blooming and things of that sort.
Yeah, and we're actually, we took to the fall financial workshop an L&D study, and we got direction to proceed with that. So we're actually in the middle of doing a L&D study right now. So we would be more than happy to provide you an update on where we're at with that.
Okay, thank you. And then it's exciting to see the projects moving forward in 2023, the master planning of all the different, we're doing a lot here in Corona, so it's exciting to see that happen. And then I'm excited to see the celebration for the historic building here. I mean, when we first moved here over 30 years ago, that's one of the first things we saw driving, looking, hunting for things to do in Corona with our kids. And you look at the building, that's the architecture, but the facades, they're amazing. And then we live with that spirit in our hearts and souls with the vibrancy of our historical past. and what it could do for the future. So, anyway, great presentation, and thank you very much. Moving forward on the consented calendar, I probably need some help here, Mr. Lass, on that. Developer impact fee balance bond repayment for October and November 2022.
Yes, so that's just provided for your information purposes. Director Kim Sitton did provide a presentation explaining how those fees work. Those are included as part of your agenda packet, just so you can kind of routinely monitor that. If you have any questions, we can, of course, correspond with finance to get those answered. Otherwise, it's just a consent and to accept.
I'll move to accept the approval of the consent calendar on the developer impact fees.
We have a second?
I will second the approval of that consent calendar.
Okay,
Chair, can we do a voice vote?
yes. Commissioner Kinney?
Aye.
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 Chairman Munoz, aye. Approved. Last thing on our agenda, if I am correct, is commissioner members' reports and comments. So I'd like to start with my favorite person on the right-hand side would be Commissioner Kinney.
I just have a couple comments. One is I have, people are starting to notice that the parks are looking better. And they're noticing, I think at first there was a couple of big changes, but the trees being planted and throughout the city, and the parks, one park getting a new play structure and the other one getting something else. And I think collectively it's starting to make an impact. And so it's good when people say the parks are really looking good. I wanted to share that. And then I'm sorry that I missed Santa Claus, but I had a lot of fun volunteering with the high school students and putting together and fluffing the trees. And I tell you, I think it's a lost art, and I'm really was glad to have the practice doing it. It was a lot of fun, and it made me feel young again to hang out with a whole group of high schoolers. So that was my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Kinney. Vice Chair Olson.
Thank you. I've obviously been absent a bit. I think my last meeting was back in October, and unfortunately, I was not able to make the Christmas celebration, which broke my heart because I've got two little ones who just love all that. Just the timing didn't work out with the family stuff this year, but I heard a lot of feedback that it was a wonderful event. So definitely on the right trend with what we're doing with the parks. To Commissioner Kinney's point, I'm also seeing it and hearing it. A lot of action, a lot of improvements out there, and our events they just continue to get better. So. Really excited about that, and just want to make mention of the community conversations next month. I know we're going to have a meeting before then, but just want to get it out there on Thursday, February 16th, the community conversations for Black History Month. I'm definitely going to make a point to be here for that this month. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Olson. In fact, that's going to be hosted by Commissioner Veretti. So with that, Commissioner Wentworth.
Great, thank you. I just want to say that you guys did a great job on the celebration down at City Hall, the lighting. I was able to run the Santa booth for the Parks Foundation, and per usual, we cannot take enough pictures with Santa as there are people that want pictures. But we got through as many as we could, and everyone seemed to have a wonderful time. It was so packed. I don't think I've ever seen that many people at our event there. I tried to go around and look at things like I normally do, and I couldn't even get around to see all of the things because there was so many people. I mean, I saw before everything starts, I go around and look, but when people are there, I like to just, when I take a quick break and go look, and I was trying to walk around and couldn't even walk, which was great. It's a great community event, and you guys are doing a great job, and I am super excited that when I went to the Committee of the Whole, right? Mm-hmm. And the council talked about how they got to look at the options, how we're going to expand the concert series and make that whole thing just more accessible, change the layout, put in food vendors, like change the whole thing up and allocate some funding and really try to step it up. So, they gave the approval to like incrementally just keep improving that event. So that should be great. That kind of has been languishing. I don't think this year's concert series was as successful as ones in the past, mostly due to COVID, but bouncing back from that, having this big event and it's located centrally and putting a little more resources in it is going to be great. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm very excited about that. I was also wanted to thank Estancia del Sol for hosting the senior meal pass out. I was able to do that. I went to the one in November for their Thanksgiving, but I put it in my phone wrong, so I showed up right when it finished. But they did one in December, so I was able to do that, and it seemed like everyone was appreciative. We had great passing out gifts from AT&T. They were very generous with that, so that was, they kind of sponsored some of the gift giveaway there, and that was nice. People liked that. I want to say one last thing is to Mr. Cortez and his team, and I was there when you guys were painting the pickleball courts, we managed to repaint a couple of pickleball courts, and they needed the surfacing that those are on, it's not ideal, but everybody's just happy to have courts to play on, and it was super great that you guys were able to do that. They wanted to have like a tournament that got rained out, but they were all prepared with this like a toy drive thing that going, and I brought a toy, and I was all signed up and everything, and then it kind of got rained out, but they are loving them, and it is great to see that, and I know that we are going to paint the rest of the courts, or repaint them, I should say, and bring them new life. So with that, I will conclude my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Wentworth. And lastly, for me, the commissioners here before you today are all active in the community, and either with their kids, their families, their horses, their homes, their children, they were in college or not. But the one commissioner here, he's not here today, I'll say Commissioner Veretti. And last month in December, he and his group, the Lila Foundation, put on a spectacular event that took in presents from all walks of life. And they had about 7 different vendor booths there that were just filled to the max for kids. And kids that are, either the Mexican American or Black American, these gifts by his foundation are being given to those kids. And, and also giving haircuts, free haircuts and book bags. And it's amazing what Dominic does. And he's an amazing person. So I want to give him a hand personally because he's not here. And so, but he is an amazing person. And that being said, also I want to again thank Commissioner Wentworth for, she says no, but she gives all her time, that's fantastic. And so I have some big shoes to fill, but with your help, I'll be successful in that end. Thank you very much. Let's see, one last thing. So that's it. Any announcements?
Yes, I'll just share. The year has only just begun. There's plenty to come, so please continue to watch your email. We'll keep you up to date with different events and happenings throughout the community. Residents, please follow us on social media, check our website. We want to have as much participation as we can. It's all about serving the community.
Mr. Last, thank you. With that, anything else being discussed? Meeting's adjourned at 10 to 7. Thank you.